Welcome back to Prayog. In this lecture, we are going to have a detailed discussion about different components of the motherboard in depth. First, let us consider bus. As we defined a bus as a group of wires that transfers data, address or control information between components of a computer. Bus can be classified into two different types. They are internal bus and external bus. Internal bus, which is also called as a local bus or even a system bus, is that bus that connects all internal components of a computer such as CPU, memory, etc. with the motherboard. It is usually located inside the system cabinet. Different types of internal bus can be seen. They are control bus, data bus, address bus. Control bus carries control bits between units, whereas data bus is concerned, it carries data bits between units with the motherboard, and the address bus carries the address bits. PCI bus is the best example for internal bus. The second type of bus is external bus. External bus is that bus which is also called as expansion bus that connects different external devices such as printers with the motherboard. Example for external buses: universal serial bus or USB. Consider a live example of printing a document on a PC. The document is nothing but a file located on the secondary storage medium, that means the hard disk or even pen drive or a DVD or whatever it is. And when you try to open the file, the location of that file has to be mentioned, but being a user, we specify its name, but internally that is virtually represented through its address. That means the address of the file has to be transferred to the CPU through the address bus. Okay, and later CPU has to instruct the memory specifying the address of the file and has to instruct the random access memory to load the content of the file. Now, the content of the file is transferred to the random access memory through the data bus. Okay, and then the information to be printed has to be spooled to the printer through the USB cable, which is nothing but an external bus. And during all these operations, the CPU has to pass lot many control instructions or control information to various units of the PC, such as random access memory or hard disk or even printer, through the control bus. So you must be clear that the control bus always carries the control bits, data bus carries the data, whereas the address bus carries the address information. Moving on to the next concept, disk controllers. Basically, disk controllers are the motherboard interfaces which are used to connect hard disks or CD drives or DVD drives or even floppy drives with the motherboard. Remember, CD drives, DVD drives, hard disks or even floppy disk drives, they are all external to the motherboard. These devices are interfaced with the motherboard through the disk controllers, which are located on the motherboard. Motherboard has got two types of disk controllers. They are hard disk controllers and even a motherboard may contain floppy disk controller. A hard disk controller is one such a disk controller which is used to interface hard disk with the motherboard, whereas the floppy disk controllers are used to interface floppy disk drives with the motherboard. Hard disk controllers are used to control the data flow between the motherboard and the hard disks, and even they can be used to interface DVD drives or CD drives. Two types of hard disk controllers are available. They are IDE or Integrated Digital Equipment. It is also called as ATA or Advanced Technology Attachment. Second one is EIDE or Enhanced Integrated Digital Equipment, which is also called as SATA or Serial Technology Attachment. Now let us have we can understand them better through few pictures. See, this photograph is showing an IDE disk controllers, a blue color socket. You can see it's a male connector which is been marked as IDE or ATA133. Okay. Actually, such IDE connectors are seen on AT motherboards, and even they were also available on XT motherboards. But recent motherboards, either they have completely prevented using IDE motherboards, or they have only one connectors just for the namesake, because recent hard disks and even DVD drives, they're all coming with SATA technology, not with ATA technology. You can see this hard disk is an IDE type. You can see the pin configuration here. Okay, and between the hard disk and the motherboard, this cable runs. One end gets connected to the motherboard and the other end is connected to the hard disk. You can clearly see this. This is connected to the motherboard. Okay, and the IDE cable usually has three interfaces. First one goes to the motherboard, the second one goes to the first device, and the last terminal goes to the second device. Moving on to the next diagram, you can see this is a photograph that shows SATA connector. The SATA connector usually is fabricated on the motherboard. You can see 4 SATA connectors on board. A different type of cable is being used. This is the cable that has been used to interface SATA hard disks or DVD drives. You can see both IDE hard disk and SATA hard disk. Okay, you just see the difference. The IDE hard disk is fixed with a bigger cable, whereas SATA hard disk is connected with the motherboard through a small SATA cable. And note, this is the power supply from SMPS. Even for this is also a power supply from SMPS. Finally, these are the computer floppy drive cables that are used to interface floppy disk drives. You see the difference. It is very much similar to the hard disk ATA connector or ATA cable. Have a look. This is hard disk IDE cable or EDA cable. This is a floppy disk IDE cable. Only one difference is that a part of the cable is being twisted like this. That shows that this cable is a floppy disk cable, not a hard disk cable. Moving on to the next topic, serial port. See, basically serial port is a 9 or 25 pin DIP or a dual inline package. It's a male port. It is called serial port because it is capable of transmitting only one bit of data at a time. It is also called as RS-232C or COM port. There can be multiple COM ports in a PC. It was used to interface devices such as mouse or external modems, etc. in earlier days. Nowadays, serial port is not much used. The next topic is parallel port. Parallel port is a 24 pin DIP, which is a female socket. It transmits 8 bits of data at a time. That is why it's called as parallel port. It is also called as local printer terminal or LPT. It is used to interface devices such as printers. Okay. The next type of port that can be seen on old motherboards was SCSI, SCSI, which is an acronym for Small Computer System Interface. The concept was, during earlier days of computing, people wanted to have high-speed devices such as high-speed hard disks or CD drives connected to the motherboards, but they were having low-speed disk connectors. So a new port called SCSI was introduced. It was either a 25 or a 50 pin connector. It was much faster compared to serial port or parallel port or even any other ports, but it was quite expensive and it was not commonly seen on the motherboards. Okay, let's move on to the next topic, USB or universal serial bus. See, one of the biggest problems of using these ports, whether it is a serial port or parallel port or even SCSI, is that their application is limited for specific devices. Say for example, serial port was used to interface only mouse or even external modem, whereas parallel port was used to interface printers, and the SCSI was used to interface high-speed hard disks. Designers wanted to have one such an interface or a port which could connect any kind of devices. That means they wanted to have a port which can connect a printer or even a keyboard or a mouse, handycams, digital cameras, pen drives or any other device to one common port, and that was achieved by the design of USB. Universal serial port was the first port which was called as plug and play port. The meaning of plug and play is that it is such a port which do not require system restart for the recognition of the interfaced device. Let us understand this in detail. Say for example, you have a printer which is connected to the parallel port, and now the PC is switched on and the PC is working, and now you have connected the printer to the motherboard of the PC through the parallel port. Note the point, PC is already working, and you have plugged the printer cable to the parallel port and the printer is turned on. But even though the printer is turned on, the PC's operating system is not in a position to recognize the connected device, because the ports, serial port or parallel port, they are actually called as digitally unsigned ports. That means they do not inform the operating systems that a new device is being connected with the PC as soon as the device is connected. So in order to inform the PC about the connectivity, the PC has to be restarted. Only after restarting the PC, then only PC can recognize the interfaced device. That means if you have plugged a new device with the system when the PC is on, which cannot recognize the connectivity, which requires a system restart, then such a port is called as digitally unsigned port, okay, or even a non-plug and play port. This limitation was eliminated by the introduction of USB, because USB or Universal Serial Bus is such a port which is called as digitally signed port. Mean to say, as soon as you plug a device with the motherboard of the PC, instantaneously the operating system is informed about the connectivity of the device. So immediately the operating system can recognize the connectivity and it can start working with the connected device. That is why USB is called as plug and play port. And the data transmission of the USB is about 12 megabits per second. It is much higher compared to the serial port as well as parallel port. Most importantly, the USB can recognize more than 100 types of devices with the PC, like printers, keyboards, mouse, pen drives, external hard disks, even handycams, digital cameras. Different types of devices can be interfaced. And finally, USB port gives a single standardized, easy to use way to connect variety of new peripherals to a computer. Moving on to the next motherboard component, PS2 or Personal System 2 port. It is a quite commonly seen port which is used to interface keyboard and mouse. Earlier to this, the mouse was interfaced with the serial port and the keyboard was interfaced with the motherboard through the ATX connectors. PS2 or PS Bar 2 was developed by IBM International Business Machines. It is used to interface keyboard and pointing device like mouse or trackball or even touchpads. This port is also called mouse port, as most computers are now have PS Bar 2 port to connect a mouse. The port uses synchronous serial engine to communicate between the keyboard and the mouse to the computer. Let us have a look on other ports that are commonly available on motherboards. PS bar 2, a while ago this has been explained. Second one is called as FireWire port. A FireWire port is used to interface handy cams with the PC to transfer the recorded information from the handy cameras to the PC. Ethernet port. An Ethernet port is used to interface the networked elements such as modems or hubs, etc. with the motherboard. It uses Cat1 or Cat2 cables crimped with RJ45 connectors. Game port. Game port was a commonly used port in earlier days of computing. It was used to interface gaming devices such as joysticks. But after the introduction of USB, game port was completely vanished. DVI or digital video interface. It is a port which is used to interface high definition TVs such as not TVs, instead monitors such as LED monitors or LCD monitors. It gives a digital connectivity with the PC. MIDI, musical instrument digital interface. It is an interface used to connect electronic musical devices such as keyboard or guitar, etc. with the PC. It is used for recording digital sound produced by the electronic musical instruments. These days it is quite commonly used. VGA or Visual Graphics Adapter, or even it is also called as Visual Graphics Array. It is used to interface monitors with the motherboard. In fact, it provides analog connectivity with the monitors with the PC. Modems. Modem is a device which is also called as modulator and demodulator. Is used to synchronize or connect the phone line and the PC for the purpose of internet connectivity. The modems are usually connected through the Ethernet ports these days. Earlier days of computing, there were internal modems which fixed on the motherboard itself. These days, internal modems have been replaced by ADSL modems or broadband modems. Let us have a diagrammatic representation of all these ports. You can have a detailed look on different types of ports here. Number 1, PS bar 2, which contains 2 ports. This one is for connecting keyboard and this is for connecting the mouse. Number 2, parallel port. This is used to connect printers during earlier days of computing. Right now we are not using it. Number 3 is the FireWire port, used to connect digital handycams. The fourth one is the Ethernet port, which is used to interface the PC with the computer network through a modem. In fact, Cat1 cable or Cat2 cable are used to connect a broadband modem with the Ethernet port, and these are the audio ports. Okay, usually in any PC will see only these 3 ports for connecting speakers. Okay, and let's move on to the USB ports. You can see that there are 3 USB ports here, 4 USB ports here, number 11. Okay, and number 12 is VGA port, which is used to interface the motherboard with the monitor. Here you can see a SCSI a SCSI port over here. Okay, and this is a serial port used to interface mouse or external modems in earlier days. You can see a serial port mouse and USB ports, VGA connector with a VGA cable.